Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, believers and non-believers. Hey, I'm Joe the Street Preacher, and welcome back to my channel. And today is Saturday, November the 21st, 2020. And I also want to say, I want to thank everybody for all you guys that's been looking at this channel, that's been viewing this channel, and for the subscribers. Obviously, you're hearing things that your spirit agree with, and that's encouraging to me. So I want to thank the people for subscribing. I also thank people for communicating with me and the things they said. Some of the people even shared with me their dreams or their interpretation of certain things, and I take that into consideration. I go before the Lord and I pray about it, see what God thinks about it, and things of that nature. But I just thank God for the communications. I thank God that you subscribe, and I just thank God that you set time aside to watch these videos. I try not to make the videos too long, but sometimes I got a lot of things to say. But other than that, I just want to thank you for your support. So a lot of things I like to say, you know, if this is your first time tuning into my channel, and this is the very first video that you're watching concerning Dana Coverstone's November election dream, I encourage you to go back to scroll down on my video and go as far as back as I think I give a title that Dana Coverstone dreams concerning proof that Dana Coverstone dreams are real. Look for that and start watching from that all the way up into this moment, so you can understand where we're going and how we're breaking down these dreams. Okay, so with that being said, we have already discovered a whole lot. You know, we discovered in his dreams, number one, we should be at a point that we know that this man's dreams are from God, because there's a scripture in the Bible that tells you that if a prophet speak a thing and the thing doesn't come to pass, then that is not what the Lord has said. In other words, if that prophet says something and it comes to pass, that's how you know that God is speaking through him, God has spoke to him, and God is using him. And I think we should be at this point in our study to know that God is speaking to Dana Coverstone. God is showing. And I'm not saying Dana Coverstone is the only prophet that God is speaking to, because there's a lot of people that God is speaking to concerning this election, concerning the judgment that's on America and that's coming to America. So, you know, but right now I just want to deal with Dana Coverstone because he has a lot of viewers. I've been on YouTube and I've seen a lot of people say a lot of negative stuff on him, you know, but you know, he had a dream that people would say that, you know, he had a dream that the wolves would come out of nowhere, out of the dark, and started saying, oh, that's not in the Bible, stop saying that. Bible, things like that, you know, and that's how the devil works. That should be a key to you. Anytime a man of God speak and he tells you about things of God, all hell breaks loose. Everybody start coming against him and things like that. But there's always a remnant. There's always a few people that know that this man is of God. And Dana Coverstone is a man of God, according to the things that he's been saying. So today's subject is, suddenly they come to life and started salivating at the mouth like a Pavlov situation. Okay, so we need to break that down so we can understand what he's saying. So let's look at that phrase. Let's look at that. Dana Coverstone says, suddenly they come to life. The question is, who is they that come to life? The answer is the ones that was weary and asleep. Those are the they that suddenly come to life because they were asleep. The next question is, who were they that were weary and asleep? And the answer to that are the protesters that were rioting, looting, fighting, and burning down the businesses. Those are the ones that are weary now. They're asleep. They've been doing this since the George Floyd incident, all the way up into the election. They've been doing it nonstop, every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month. They are weary. They are tired. They are asleep. Those are the they that suddenly come alive. Okay. The next question is, which protesters are they? Because you have two different types of protesters. You have those that are protesting for Trump, and you have those that are protesting for Joe Biden. And we all know that when you watch the news, it's the Black Lives Matter and it's the Antifa, the ones that's out there destroying businesses, the ones that's out there fighting against the police. Those are the Joe Biden. And what's causing the Joe Biden protesters to come alive? The answer to that question is the sound of the bell. Because remember, in Dana Coverstone's dream, he stated, and this bell rang. The question that I would ask after that is, and what's the bell symbolize in this dream? And the answer to that, if you watched our last video, is the mainstream news media. So after viewing this dream, see, one thing I like about Dana Coverstone's dream, the dream that God gave him, it not only tell you about the beginning of this election, it gives you the middle of this election, and it also gives you the outcome, the results of this election in this one particular dream. God has given us revelation of the whole month of what's going to take place. And later on, Dana Dream have another dream about December 17th, which I believe this nation will get an answer of who the president will be. And we all know that Donald Trump will be the president of the United States. So there will be an announcement. There will be an announcement made by the mainstream news media that would trigger Joe Biden protesters to come alive out of their sleep. Now, to jump ahead a little bit in this dream, so that we can understand what I'm about to say to you, let's look at this video. Let me remind you what Dana Coverstone said about this. Watch this video.
And I saw people screaming and getting violent over the election results, to the point people were firing weapons just randomly into the air, into the sky. People were angry and people were mad. But the crowd was in a frenzy of hatred. They were even hitting each other with their signs and their banners and their wrath. And I saw more cities with pillars of smoke over them, like the wild firestorms in California right now. I saw crumbled and burned out buildings in Washington, D.C. Not monuments, but businesses and commercial real estate. Headlines declared that rebuilding would take time and trust would take even longer, and government could not do it in a timely fashion.
Now look what he just said. He said they started screaming and getting violent over the election results. Now let's stop and let's pause and let's decipher that. Let's think about that. On November 3rd, America received the news that there technically or lawfully is not official a new president of the United States. It appeared that Joe Biden has won. So they started, that was the results of the election. But those results of the election may have got Donald Trump supporters upset, may be mad, but that was it. There was no looting. There was no fighting. There was no destroying or burning down businesses. There was no running in the mall, stealing clothes. There was none of that. None of that. Notice in that same dream, he said that he saw headlines that read, rebuilding would take time and trust would even take longer, and government cannot do it in a timely fashion. Look what he said. He said he saw headlines in the same dream that said rebuilding will take time, meaning that the city got tore up so much. Because remember, he also says that he saw fires burning in cities just like in California, which we have not seen since the days of election. He saw people fighting one another and hitting each other with sticks, and they was mad and they was acting violent. We ain't seen none of that. We ain't seen none of that yet. So right now, there's nothing to rebuild. Since the election, there's nothing to rebuild. But when they get this news, the dream said that he saw the headlines that said rebuilding will take time, meaning that it's tore up so bad to the point that it's going to take time to rebuild. You ain't going to be able to do this in a day. You ain't going to be able to do this in a month. You probably won't even be able to do this. You probably won't even be able to do this rebuilding for another year or so. It might take time the way they'll destroy this place after hearing that Trump won. He said it would take time. And look what else he says. And trust would even take longer. Boy, you really don't need an interpretation for this. Why would the nation, why would it take for them to have trust, that they trust would take even longer? Why? Because we've already been exposed to us that there were voter fraud. We are now seeing and witnessing on the news, there's thousands of dead people that are voting. They said that Joe Frazier, who's been dead for years, is still voting. They said that Will Smith, father, who's out of Philly, in Philly, he's been dead for years, but he's still voting. We find out there's thousands and thousands, maybe even millions in another country that is voting. They voted for the Democrats. How can you not be an American citizen living in America, but you have the right to vote? You have the right to cast in votes and run this country from another country. That's crazy. So we're learning that we've been standing in line for a long time. And I say we, because I'm speaking as an American, because I didn't vote. Because I'm in another country right now. I'm not in America right now. But what I'm saying is that when you find out that you took off of work, you took time to stand in a long line. In some states, you're in the heat, and in some states, you're out there in the cold. And you're standing in a long line to vote for this particular person. And you done took time out the day. You maybe even paid a babysitter extra money so that you could stand out here while your kids is over there and while you're standing in this line to vote. You did all that, and to come to find out that your vote wasn't even counted. You did that for nothing. It causes you not to want to trust the government no more. This will cause you not to even want to vote anymore. It would make you think that it's senseless. I'm going to do all this voting, and then I got dead people out voting me. It'll come to like it's a waste of time. Right now, you wouldn't even want to trust putting your ballots in a box. You wouldn't want to trust going to a machine and voting for this person because it might flip for the next person. You don't want to trust that machine. So that's why Dana Coverstone said in the dream, which is really God showing him this, that rebuilding would take time and trust would take even longer. It would be a long time for somebody to ever trust voting again, ever trust the government again, ever trust the system again. Because when God exposed what's going on in the world today, in America today with this election, you're not going to want to trust that no more. It will take a long time for somebody to want to trust this voting election again. He also said that government cannot do it in a timely fashion. So what is that showing us, brothers, sisters, ladies, gentlemen? What is that showing us? Number one, God is showing us in this election what's going to take place. See, I believe when that bell rings and when Joe Biden's protesters suddenly come alive and start salivating at the mouth, start drooling at the mouth. The reason why they're drooling, because now they have the golden opportunity. After that bell sounded, this is the bell that they know whenever. It's just like a boxer in a ring. When no matter how tired he is, no matter how exhausted he is, when he's sitting on that chair, he's sweating, he's breathing heavy, he's tired, he's weary, he's exhausted. But when that bell rings, he gets up and get ready to do the same thing he did in the last round, because he's programmed to do that. He's conditioned to do that. And that's the same way with the Joe Biden protesters. They're sleeping now. But as soon as the results are brought forth, because you remember, they started screaming and getting violent over the result of the election. We didn't see that happen yet. So what is God showing us? God is showing us, he already showed us that Donald Trump is going to win this. The reason why there's a pause and you don't hear anything right now is because that's how they do things over there. They drive down the street and blast things that they're selling, food and stuff like that. Welcome to another country. Remember he said, and they started screaming and getting violent because of the results of the election. We didn't see that happen yet. But when they announced that Donald Trump has won, this is when they're going to scream and get violent off of the news, off of the results of the election. The results are going to be Donald Trump is going to win again. He's going to get his second term, just like the prophets had dreamed. This is going to happen. The reason why they're quiet now, because they think Joe Biden has won. But God has only put this nation on pause because he is revealing to this nation the corruption that's been going on for so long. The Bible tells us that the things that are done in the dark, it will come to light. That is what God is doing right now. He is shedding his light on America. He is shedding his light on the corruption. He is revealing to America that, like he said in the Bible, trust no man. Don't put your trust in man. Salivating is like saliva, drool from a dog. What causes a dog to salivate? What causes a dog to drool? When I bring my dog's food, my pets start drooling at the mouth. Why are they drooling? Because they know the very thing that they love, the very thing that they want, cause them to drool, because this is something that they want. This is something that they like. This is something that they feel they need.
You think this is good? Oh, does that smell good? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Good stuff, isn't it? My, look at that. Wow. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff, isn't it, Sadie? Oh, my. Oh, I bet you'd like some of this, wouldn't you? Oh, yes. Oh, Sadie. There you go. Yeah, good girl.
So that what causes a dog to drool. And every time I bring that food, they start, we say slobbering. It's drooling or dribble, and that's what causes them to dribble. And the reason why it causes them to dribble, because I am bringing them something that they really want, and that is food. That's what causes them to react in such a way. So when Dana Coverstone says suddenly they come to life and start salivating at the mouth, it's at the mouth as a Pavlov situation. We're going to get into that because there's similarity in the Pavlov situation, but a lot of us don't know what in the world Pavlov is. But I'm going to break that down to you in a minute, and I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to show you some news clipping about it. But anyway, so we can fully understand what Dana Coverstone is saying in this dream. But anyway, so he says suddenly they come to life. We realize who the they is. These are the Joe Biden protesters. Okay, so suddenly Joe Biden protesters, the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, all the people that was rioting and looting and breaking into malls, stealing clothes, stealing shoes, and going in the grocery store, stealing all the food and breaking the windows and destroying property. Suddenly they awoke. They got up. They're not tired anymore. They're fully rested. And they come alive. And they started salivating. They started dribbling at the mouth. Why? Because now they see that they have another opportunity. They have another moment to do the very thing that they love to do, the very thing that they like to do by destroying property. They feel like they got the right now to go inside the malls and clear it out. They got the right to go in Walmart and clear it out. Come out with big screen TVs and everything. This is what causes them. The news is what causes them to dribble. It causes them to salivate at the mouth like a Pavlov's dog situation. But the question is, what is the announcement that's going to be made to cause them to be able to go back into that same frame of mind again? It's not that Joe Biden is now officially the president of the United States. It's not going to be that. Because within that same dream, Dana Coverstone dream, it also showed that the results, the outcome of this election, because it shows that Joe Biden falls head first on his face. It shows that Kamala Harris is crying tears. It's not tears of joy. It's tears of money because they stand to make a lot of money once they get in there. And I'm not talking about as being a president or a vice president, because you only make like a couple of $100,000 of a year. But all the illegal, underhanded, backdoor agreements that they'll be making, which will cause them to make millions, and at the same time hurting the civilians. That's why she's crying tears. That's why she's crying quarters, I believe. But we also saw Hillary Clinton. His dream said that Hillary had a knife to Donald Trump's throat, and she was trying to cut it. You know, she was trying to slit his throat. She was trying to kill him. You know, and I take that to be symbolic as well. You know, I believe that Hillary Clinton is going to actually pick up a knife, go catch him around the neck and slit his throat? Nah, I don't think she's going to literally do that, because she knows she'll go to jail. They more operate in doing things underground than to do it in the public. So I don't think she's going to literally do that. But you got to look at Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is symbolic. She represents the Democratic Party. And she also represents, she's the same person that when Donald Trump was running for presidency, that she was falsely accusing him of having ties with Russia. She was falsely accusing him on everything. She just, her crew just kept attacking him. They was really trying to kill him, not literally, but they was trying to kill his reputation. They was trying to kill his chance on trying to become a president. But you know, the scripture says, if God be for you, who could be against you? That's the question. And the answer is nobody, not even Hillary Clinton with all the millions that she has got. Okay, so with that being said, I believe in that dream that she represents the Democratic Party, because that's exactly what the Democratic Party is doing right now. They're trying to kill Donald Trump, not literally, but they're trying to kill his moment, his opportunity of becoming president again. They're trying to kill everything that he does. They won't even, all the good things that he's done, they won't even report it on the news. They only report his bad. Now, is that fair? No, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. But that's the mainstream news media. And with that being said, the Democratic Party has right now, they have him by the throat. They're trying to slit his throat. But Dana Coverstone dream said that Hillary Clinton's foot got caught in a trap. Donald Trump was able to punch her off of him, get her off of him, and he was able to get away. You know what that dream is showing us? That right now at this moment, since the 3rd of November, the Democratic Party, through the fraudulent stuff they did in this election, they have Donald Trump by the throat. They're holding him. They're detaining him for becoming the next president. They're trying to kill him so that he won't become the next president. But Dana Coverstone dream has showed that he's going to get away. And that the very thing, the very trap that they're trying to set for him, they're going to end up getting their foot in the trap, their own selves. You know, the Bible says, he that diggeth a ditch will also fall in that ditch that he made. That's what's going to happen with them. This very thing that the Democratic Party is doing is going to backfire on them. God is exposing the corruption that is going on in this world. And it's going to cause, in America, it's going to cause them to lose trust and to ever want to vote again, because they're going to feel like they've been standing in line. Some of these people go out and stand in the hot sun or out in the cold for a long time, waiting to be able to go inside and vote. And it's going to make them upset, like, wow, I stayed out there all that time, and then my vote that I voted for this person, and end up going to that person. Or I got a bunch of dead people coming from the grave out voting who we alive voted for. You got more dead people that voted for this particular person, and it caused that person to win. I went in vain. I went for nothing. I can't trust the government. That's how people are going to feel. That's why Dana Coverstone said that in his dream. In his dream, he said the government said it's going to take time to rebuild and to trust again. The trust is nobody's going to want to trust the government. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut this video short. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut it short. For time's sake, I don't want to make it too long, because I don't want people to, get weary and say, oh, it's too long, I'm not going to watch that, because I really want you to watch everything in the video. I want to be able to reveal everything to you that God has revealed to me about Dana Coverstone dreams. So I hope you liked the video. If you liked and it's your first time watching it, I encourage you to go back and watch the other videos dealing with Dana Coverstone dreams, so to catch you up with speed. Also, if you like this video and this video was really inspiring to you, I'm asking that you subscribe, that you hit the bell for all notifications, and that you also share this video with other people, that they also may be enlightened with what's going on. Because I noticed in Dana Coverstone dreams, he just tell the dreams, but he don't really break it down. But he does his part by telling the dream, you know. And so my next video, we're going to talk about the Pavlov situation. Remember, he said that suddenly they came to life, which is Joe Biden's protesters, and they started salivating at the mouth like a Pavlov situation. So we're going to talk about that so y'all can understand the terminology behind the Pavlov situation, so you'll know what that means, because it's tying into everything. All right, so God bless. Thank you for watching the videos. I love you guys.